Here at Brand Doctor, we typically talk about brands, how they communicate themselves, how they engage consumers. But one thing we have to recognize as advertising professionals is the role of political advertising in our careers. Many of us will find ourselves at some point in time working in this capacity in terms of producing political ads. And so the other day I heard a very interesting ad, and I'm going to take a little bit of a different tact here in terms of talking about this ad. I'm going to kind of stay a little bit away from just the general discussion of political ads. Many other people do that much better than I do. But there's something in particular about this particular ad that I really needed to address. I'm going to play the ad for you now and then just kind of briefly make some comments, and we'll see if you pick up on the same thing as I did, which really makes this a very interesting political ad. Now, let me also preface before we even watch this ad, I do not even know who this politician is. I do not live in the state of New Jersey. I am not endorsing this particular candidate. However, this ad is very interesting. So let's give it a quick look, and then we'll have a couple words about it.
My father was a cop. I needed student loans to go to college. A typical Jersey story. I'm Frank Pallone. I've always been about supporting families. I wrote the healthcare reform law with President Obama because it helps working people. I fought the Tea Party to protect Social Security because everyone deserves a secure retirement. I approve this message because New Jersey needs a senator who drives a Chevy. Let the other guys take the limo.
Okay, so did you catch it? How interesting is it that in this particular ad, the candidate refers to a brand that we all know and love. Well, maybe not love, but a brand that we all know, a brand that has a personality, a brand that has an essence. Chevy. Chevy is probably one of the most American brands out there. People have very strong feelings towards it. And they do think of it as representing the American dream, the American way, good, hardworking American brand. Now, it's interesting that this politician is co-opting this brand. And, we may use this term called the halo effect, where you take one brand and affiliate with it so that all the good feelings wrapped up towards that brand then cast a very favorable glow onto your brand. And that's what this politician is doing, is he's perceiving Chevy as being all-American. And he's perceiving all-American as the kind of image he wants to bring into his marketplace, which is actually this particular election season. Now, it's a smart move, kind of, on the part of this politician, because as I said, Chevy is very strong branded in our minds as consumers. However, that also has drawbacks, because as we know that there are many people who know and love the Chevy brand, there's also many people who probably know and don't love the Chevy brand. So he's playing both ends towards the middle here. I think that he'll win because of the strong all-American aspect of the Chevy brand. I think that'll resonate. Even if people don't particularly like Chevy as a brand, I think it'll still cast a halo effect onto this candidate. Now, however, one of the things we often demand from our politicians is a distance from corporate America. It's interesting that he's bringing in a brand name that we know. I wonder what's going on in the mind of Chevy. You see a big, huge, at the very end there, we saw a huge brand recognition, the logo, the car. So this calls into question some of the ethics related to corporations and politics. And it also causes me to think a little bit about what Chevy is up to. Is this a good use of their logo? I'm not sure it is. In fact, I think that Chevy may be getting themselves into some rough waters here. So think about this blurring the line between political ads and branded ads. Is this something that we want? Maybe not so much thinking from a professional perspective, but from an ethical perspective, and something that really might reflect more generally on the type of society, the type of culture that we have here in the U.S. So Brand Doctor's coming through today with some really big time issues, some things to think about, and please post some comments if you have them, because this is a discourse and a debate that we need to have.